Thanks for listening to Uncle Sam's Soccer Podcast, keeping you up to date with the latest in American soccer. And don't forget to subscribe.
Hello everyone, welcome to Uncle Sam's Soccer Podcast. It is I, Steve Majada, and joining me as always is Arman and Jake Wickhova. And on today's episode, we talk more MLS. We talk about Sunday's games. Now listeners, hit that subscribe button, leave us a 5-star review, and follow us at Uncle Sam's Soccer Pod. If you want to get our thoughts from Saturday's action within MLS, go check it out in the episode log. Send in your thoughts, your feedback, and fellas, I want to begin with this. Paul Kennedy tweets, MLS hapless playoff contenders. The 7 teams around the 2 playoff lines, talking about the 2 conferences, have 1 win in their last 21 games. Are you ready for this, Jake? Arman, are you ready for this, listeners? New England.
No.
Loss, tie, winless in 4. Chicago. Tie, win, tie. Montreal, loss. Orlando City, tie, loss, winless in 6. In the West, FC Dallas, loss, tie. San Jose, loss. Portland, loss, tie. Suck, and suck.
I mean, are you sure it's suck? I feel like it's just like the teams that are like fighting for a playoff spot, just losing. Because if they were winning, they'd be higher up the
One
rankings.
win in 21 games out of 7 teams, Arman. That is a sack load of crap.
The bottom of the standing.
That is a sack load of crap right there.
I mean, if they were winning, they would be maybe second in the West or third.
I can't believe you're putting up a defense for this. Jake, get a load of this guy.
Jake agrees.
I mean, one of the teams listed on that list is arguably, after LAFC and Atlanta United, one of the most talented teams in the league, in the Portland Timbers, and they have not. They've been so. They've just been. I don't even know if so mediocre is the right way to say it. They've just been so
bad.
They haven't been good. They're not good.
We'll talk more about that, I think, into our segments, because they have looked terrible, to say the least.
I just pulled up a random team's San Jose schedule. You know who they've played in their last 3? RSL, NYCFC, Atlanta United. Loss, and loss.
Don't lose. You gotta win.
It's still crap. It is still crap. I'm sorry. If you want to make the playoffs, you need better performances than that. The draws I can deal with, but the amount of losses, it's just not.
Even 40 chess, do they want to make the playoffs?
Why wouldn't they want to make the playoffs?
I don't know. I was trying to make a joke about tanking, but
it doesn't work in MLS because you're not winning.
The draft is irrelevant, MLS.
Oh, it's unbelievably irrelevant.
Guys, here's a good one for you, just to piggyback on the Portland Timbers here. They have played. Hold on here. 1, 2, 3. I want to make sure it's 9. I was going to say 8. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure it's 9. They have played 9 consecutive home matches dating back to August 10th. Okay? How many wins do the Portland Timbers have over that 9-game stretch?
Oh, at home, right? All at home.
All at home.
Okay, so I know the last...
Wait. Do you want me to read off the opponents in order?
Okay, yeah. Fine.
Okay, in order. The Vancouver Whitecaps, the Chicago Fire, Atlanta United, Seattle Sounders, Real Salt Lake, Sporting Kansas City, DC United, New York Red Bulls, Minnesota United.
2.
I have to go with 2. There's only 2 winnable games right now for Portland. I'm pretty sure it's
2. It's Vancouver and Chicago, yeah?
Yep. I'm with Arman.
You guys are wrong. 4. The other 2 wins you're forgetting are a 1-0 win against Real Salt Lake, and the last time they have scored at Providence Park, which was on September 7th, a 2-1 win over Sporting Kansas City. That's bad. 9 consecutive home matches, and they only have 4 wins. And by my calculation, 13 points out of a possible 27 points from home over the last 9 games.
Yikes.
That's not good enough. That's not a playoff team.
But here, this is a little misleading from Paul, because the Eastern Conference 1 through 6, those teams are qualified for the playoffs. Now they're fighting out for the seedings. New England has a clear-cut advantage over Chicago Fire, but Montreal, Orlando, they really don't have much of a chance to get into the playoffs. Now in the Western Conference, a lot different of a story. We obviously know that it's been very much flavor of the week. FC Dallas, San Jose, Portland. One of those teams is going to be outside looking in and going like, crap, we blew it. We really blew an opportunity to be in the playoffs. So, question of the day, listeners. In the Western Conference, because it's been so much flavor of the week, do you see a possibility, Jake and Arman, that FC Dallas, San Jose, or Portland make a deep run for MLS Cup?
I'm gonna have to go no. I don't think so. I think me and Jake talked about I think on another show. I don't think none of these teams, in the Western Conference battle for 2 through 7 have really impressed me that much, like compared to LAFC. And yes, I know LAFC has been shaky, but I think with home field advantage and ample time off to rest their bodies, I think they'll be fine. But the rest of the teams just haven't looked. I mean, those Western Conference first round matches are going to be so interesting because each team is just so close with each other. They're so close. I mean, we saw Portland and Minnesota. Every game they've played this year has been like 1-0, 2-1, 0-0, so close till the end. I mean, Dallas, Minnesota, you could argue is a coin flip. Dallas, RSL, you could argue is a coin flip. You can go through that entire list, and I mean, each of these teams are just really even with each other. So I don't think so, to be honest with you, Steven. I think LAFC is a clear cut, and the rest of the teams are just fighting for that Western Conference final spot. This could honestly come back to haunt me in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there by saying most of these matchups in the Western Conference are coin flips. Now, I think the team outside of LAFC, the team nobody wants to play in a first round matchup is the LA Galaxy. You can't, if you're the Seattle Sounders or Minnesota United or Real Salt Lake, you don't want to fall to that 5th seed or 6th seed even and draw the Galaxy. I don't think that's a coin flip. I think the Galaxy probably win that game 7 out of 10 times. But as far as you're looking at teams that could potentially knock off LAFC, I just don't see it in the Western Conference. I mean, the Galaxy are the only team that I think can play with them for the most part. And I would like to say if the Timbers, I like to look at the Timbers as like the sleeping giant. And if they were to wake up, maybe you could peg them as a team to do it. But I just don't see them having this turning point here at the end of the season and going on a run, and which culminates in them upsetting LAFC at Bank of California Stadium.
Yeah, fair enough. Listeners at Uncle Sam's Soccer Pod, we want to hear feedback. Guys, this is pretty good too. Underneath Paul's tweet, all the comments. Just another grand example of how absolutely meaningless MLS regular season really is. This is so much more entertaining than a league with promotion and relegation. The excitement is palpable. Here's another good one. I've been trying to think how promotion and relegation would work in the U.S. I'm not sure it would be accepted here at all. That said, it might freak owners out so badly that they financially compete for world-class players so they don't lose millions in the second league.
Idiots. Stop reading these idiots. Why would anybody think that to protect my investment more, I should spend even more money in hopes that it doesn't fail? Because if it does fail, and I double down on it, I'm going to be really broke. And as opposed to just, sitting back and trying to finish, 15th in a 28-team league or whatever the hell MLS is going for at this point. I mean, come on. Here's the thing.
Go ahead, Jake.
Okay, I'll just say this. For everybody who wants MLS, and we've said on the show, I want MLS to spend more money, but to sit here and say, let any team just spend all willy-nilly and let if LAFC want to drop $1 billion tomorrow on whoever, that's fine. And if Seattle Sounders want to spend $5 million on a roster, that's fine. Here's the thing. That's all great and dandy. But is the league really excited? Would MLS be really that much more exciting with that? With you have LAFC, who had basically had the league wrapped up, the supporter shield wrapped up in July. Is that more exciting? What are these last 3 months for then?
Good question. At Jake Watroba. Send in your thoughts here. Here's
and
another.
I love Pro-Rel.
Here's a good one. The quality of the league seems like it's getting worse. True or false? Do we agree with that? I think it's actually getting better.
Yeah, that's wrong. Next.
With the endless expansion and low salary cap, the product is poor. Again, wrong. Watch LAFC versus the Galaxy. Sure, you can have some bad matchups, but overall the league has improved. An already bad league is even more watered down now. The league desperately needs...
No, that's not how it works. It's an international market.
It's not the NFL.
No, wait. It gets better.
God.
The league desperately needs to raise the salary cap.
XY, no correlation. Like, it's not going to be watered. Okay, please stop. Can we stop wasting our time?
Stop reading Ben Fast.
Stop wasting my time, please.
Those teams would be relegated year on year in Europe until they were in non-league. What a joke of a system, rewarding teams regardless of effort. By the way, I promise you, every ownership in Europe would die to have a closed-off system because their investment is protected.
Don't. Let's not forget the Chicago Fire sold more than what Forbes evaluated Premier League club Newcastle United. And by the way, Newcastle United ranked 20th, I believe, on Forbes's most expensive soccer clubs in the world. So keep that in mind. The Chicago Fire, if what I'm stating is true, which it might not be, but we're not going to fact check here because we never let the facts get in the way of a good story. Chicago Fire are one of the 20 most expensive clubs in the world because they play not in the most lavish league in the world. It doesn't make the most money because they play in a closed-off system that protects the owner's investments.
What's going to happen when Messi comes to Miami, right? This is hypothetical. What are they going to say? Oh, they can't draw quality? They just got the GOAT. Arguably the GOAT with a capital T.
Another Ballon d'Or winner, too, in the league.
Ugh.
No, it's called the FIFA Best Awards. Get it right, please. Thank you.
Anyway,
Either way.
Sunday's games in MLS. Rather a dud. Jake, give us the recap.
You are correct. It was a massive dud if you were a MLS fan.
Another note. I'm sorry to interrupt here, Jake.
No, it's fine.
Another note.
That's fine.
MLS, right, has a good opportunity to kind of start maybe wiggle around NFL because the NFL product has been really, really poor thus far with injuries left and right and stupid coaching decisions. My goodness, if you watch the Cleveland Browns, you could do a better job coaching that team. Who does a draw on 4th and 9? That insulted my soccer knowledge. That was so pitiful of a call. My God. Secondly, Miami, they should just be relegated to, I don't know, non-conference college football, whatever the system is in college football. Jake, you could go down there and call a couple
Where are
plays.
the Pro-Rel Bobos right now with the Miami Dolphins? How come we don't have Pro-Rel for USA in the NFL because the Miami Dolphins are going to go in 6? Where are these idiots?
Anyway, but my point being is the MLS had a real opportunity to kind of have some good matches going on while NFL is doing its thing. But nope, they blew it.
They did blow it. We'll start with out in Portland with the Portland Timbers as they drop points at home again to Minnesota United in a scoreless draw. The tie keeps Minnesota United third in the West, while the Timbers are level on points with 7th-seeded San Jose Earthquakes. But due to allowing more goals on the season than the Quakes, they find themselves on the outside looking in the Western Conference playoff picture. Let's go back out east. The New York Red Bulls beat the Philadelphia Union 2-0. A day after clinching their 10th straight playoff berth, the New York Red Bulls made a big move for their playoff positioning in the Eastern Conference. Tom Barlow scored the decisive goal to lift the Red Bulls to a 2-0 victory over rival Philadelphia Union, who earlier in the weekend clinched a home playoff game for the first time since 2011. Keeping it out east, NYCFC pick up a point away from Yankee Stadium as they draw FC Dallas 1-1. A 66-minute goal from Zdenek Andrasek rescues a point for the hosts. With the draw, Dallas leapfrogs San Jose in the Western Conference standings and moves into 6th place. And lastly, Frederick Brilliant scored to help DC United blank the Seattle Sounders 2-0 on Sunday night. Now, guys, continuing our theme from our last episode in discussing the biggest winners and losers in the playoff picture, can we say there were any winners from Sunday's matches, Arman?
I like how in our doc we're staring at a section with no winners on there at all. Yeah, I guess, to be honest with you, I mean, you could argue that, the Red Bulls, they kind of put themselves in a good spot to where now, they're in a position where if they beat DC United, they were at the 6th seed, I think, to start the day. If they beat DC United, remember we talked about how Toronto FC really blew their chance at earning a win, and they would be, tied with or above DC United. Now the Red Bulls, with a nice 2-0 win over Union, everyone's been saying Armas out or whatever. They have a chance to knock off DC United next, I think it's on next Sunday, and a chance to hop them and actually host a playoff game. And remember, this team hasn't been as hot as they have been over the last few years, but I guess they're the big winner. I mean, I'm not sure, to be honest with you. You can make an argument for DC, but I know it's sure as hell not the Portland Timbers.
Thank God there are games midweek. Because Sunday blew, Jake. I don't know about you, but Sunday was some of the worst MLS action in a long time I've seen. There were potential storylines written all over, and nobody wanted to claim it. Nobody wanted to go out there and make a statement. Like, as Arman said, sure, the Red Bulls, right? 10 straight years in the playoffs. They clinched that Saturday, so you're not really making headlines. Maybe you're getting playoff positioning, a better playoff positioning. You beat the Union, a team that you could very well see in the playoffs, so that gives you confidence. But NYCFC traveled to FC Dallas. NYCFC is playing a very winnable game, and they let that slip. DC United blanket the Sounders. That's actually a pretty positive result for DC. Gets them back in the winning ways with Wayne Rooney's departure looming all over the club. But still, no team out there really took it and marched forward.
You had Portland and Minnesota. That was a very pivotal game for both teams, and they both come away with a point. That's obviously a better result for Minnesota than Portland, but both teams had an excellent opportunity there to really move up in the standings. Minnesota up to 2nd in the West, with Seattle dropping points later on in the night to DC United, and Portland could have gotten as high as 6th in the Western Conference, and that just felt like a big missed opportunity. And I think they're only winners, if you want to even say they're winners, they already had the playoffs locked up. They're just more so jostling for position, was the New York Red Bulls and DC United.
Guys, can we just talk about Portland? And I don't know what's wrong with them, man. They're just not good. I mean, they have these slew of home games and they just can't win. They've drawn, they've laid eggs, they've lost. What's wrong? This is a team that was MLS Cup finalists last year. Let's not forget about this. And they're supposed to be better adding a guy like Brian Fernandez into their lineup, but something just isn't clicking. I don't know what exactly is it. Maybe it's the fatigue of a bunch of games, of the home games being close to each other. I know Atlanta United dealt with that in 2017 when the Bends opened up. But, I mean, DC United was hot when they had this last year. And the Timbers, I mean, Jake, you call them a sleeping giant, and I agree. But I think they're slowly starting to lose that status. I'm not much of a believer of them anymore. There's something off. I mean, with a guy like Valerian Fernandez, you can't really count them out. But their defense, man, it's just, they're just not good. Something is missing. I don't know what exactly it is, but something's missing. They're just not good right now.
What about Seattle losing to DC United? What are we to make of that?
Not a good result, especially if Minnesota gets a even a draw. They're in a driver's seat for that second seed, and you open up. They could have opened up. They could have given themselves some cushion with a win, and they ended up just again laying an egg. It's who wants to be a second seed in the Western Conference? It's a question we got to ask. Like, who wants to be the second seed? You gotta win, baby. You gotta just try to get a draw, man. NYC got a draw on the road. We're looking through. It's like some of these teams, they all got draws. I don't know. Seattle is such a mystery team to me. Again, like I told you guys, I'm not impressed by Seattle either.
The big result that's going to hurt Seattle if they do not hold on to the second or even a third seed in the Western Conference is going to be that 0-0 draw at home to Dallas on September 18th. I think that result is going to loom large. I mean, Seattle, their upcoming matches, they have two tough matches here. You have San Jose, who's fighting for their playoff lives. Seattle goes to San Jose next Sunday, September 29th, and then Seattle then wraps up their season, decision day, hosting Minnesota United. They'll be hungry for that second seed as well. And I think that game against Dallas might be the game that bites the Sounders in the ass when this is all said and done.
Hey, Wednesday, midweek, massive games. NYCFC Atlanta United competing for the top. Minnesota play quote-unquote rival Sporting KC. Obviously, Minnesota looking to secure a top seed in the Western Conference. RSL versus the Galaxy. Can the Galaxy continue and just march forward and get into the playoffs and maybe hopefully get some magic under Ibrahimovic? New England travels to Portland. A massive home field advantage for Portland just because they're playing on a shortened week, and New England has to travel cross-country. Included in the fact that Philadelphia is also traveling cross-country to San Jose. Last game, probably one of the more insignificant games, but LAFC, Houston. Can LAFC flip the switch and get a win? They haven't had a win in 5 games. So every team has something to play for, gearing up for the playoffs.
You know, Steven, I feel like this Portland-New England Revolution game should be an exciting match because it's two teams fighting for their playoff lives. Wouldn't you say so? Wouldn't you say this should feel like it's like this big match? And maybe it's because I'm the neutral and I don't feel that. I don't look at it and go, oh, that's gonna be exciting. That's
New England's flying charter.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This is how I look at the this match here. I'm gonna steal something from Bill Simmons here.
Ooh,
this is a poop fecta. This just seems like a game I don't want to watch. This is a game. This is two teams in bad form. It's going to be another 0-0 draw. Portland's going to go 4 consecutive home matches without a goal.
Actually, a 0-0 draw for New England wouldn't be bad though. Cross country, shortened week, you get a point on the road.
There's no such thing as a bad. There's no such thing as a bad road point in MLS. I think.
They also go 4 points clear of the Fire with 2 games to go. So all they gotta do is just do their job and they'll be fine. I think that'd
right.
be huge. I think that'd be huge. The game I'm watching, I think it has to be Galaxy RSL. Are the Galaxy gonna be for real? We'll see. Is RSL for real? I mean, we'll see in this matchup right here for playoff seeding. The Galaxy can get a win. That'll be huge. And it could potentially throw them into the driver's seat for that second seed. And
yeah, so who is the club in the driver's seat for the second seed in the Western Conference? I'm going to give you the standings here. And matches played is going to come into some sort of effect. Seattle, with 32, are currently second on 50 points. Minnesota, 31 games played, 49 points. LA Galaxy, 31 games played with 48 points. RSL, 31 games played, 47 points. One of those teams is going to be the second seed. The question is, who's your money on?
Well, Jake, I don't know about you, man, but my money is on the Galaxy after soft schedule. My money's on them.
You know, since I'm going to Vegas later this week, I think that's a great, phrase you just used there. Who's my money on? It's the Galaxy. It has to be the Galaxy. Like you said, soft schedule to close out the season. Minnesota United still has to play LAFC and the Seattle Sounders away. That's not going to bode well for them. The Sounders, they're going to play at San Jose, Minnesota. And I just think the LA Galaxy are set up to get that 2 seed when this regular season's all said and done. Steven, what do you think?
Yeah, it's the Galaxy. It's set up for the Galaxy. Can they do it? I have no idea.
I mean,
because
last
the Galaxy,
year they lost to Dynamo.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, the Galaxy it's a coin flip. Either they're going to be winning or they're going to be losing. They really do not draw. That's the insane part of the Galaxy. They have 3 draws.
The big thing is, Steven, with that, is they're leading the Western Conference outside of LAFC in wins. That's the first tiebreaker. The first tiebreaker for standings is wins. So the Galaxy are looking pretty, if they get a couple more wins, looking pretty nice.
Hey, their goal differential is also in the plus now. It used to be minus. They've turned it around.
They smacked SKC 7-2.
That helped them.
Okay, let's not get the goal differential thing going. I mean, nobody has a really good goal differential except for LAFC.
This. Look at this. LAFC's goal differential is 44. Seattle Sounders, the 2nd seed, is 1. The goal differential between the 1 seed and the 2 seed in the West is 43.
If you're looking at the Supporters Shield standing, it's 25 from LA Galaxy to 2nd placed New York City FC. So no matter how you splice it, it's still a pretty big gap. Now, guys, quickly before we wrap up the show, Joseph Martinez's injury. Are we concerned for Atlanta United, Steven?
Yes.
No, he'll be fine when playoff starts.
Yeah,
which is like a month away.
But okay, sure.
If
he's 100%, right? But what player is truly 100% at this time of year after all these games played?
Yeah, so I'm not worried. He's like at 30, he'll get up to like 80. So,
all right, we'll see.
My take, Chief.
Listeners, question of the day at UncSam Soccer Pod: which one of Paul Kennedy's MLS hapless playoff contenders is most likely to make noise come the MLS playoffs? New England Revolution, Chicago Fire, Montreal Impact, Orlando City in the Eastern Conference, or FC Dallas, San Jose, or Portland in the Western Conference? Let us know. Also, listeners, I'm going to be in Vegas this week. Send me your parlays for the Wednesday night games at Jake Wetruba, at UncSam Soccer Pod. Let's have a little fun. Let's do a little gambling. Let's spend some money. Let's make some money. Send me your picks. I love to gamble. I love to blow money. Maybe I'll win so much money I can fly Steven and Arman to Minnesota.
Yes.
When Minnesota United host the MLS Cup final. But I digress. You can follow the show on Twitter at UncSam Soccer Pod. You can follow Steven Jodaran at Steven Jodaran, and you can follow Arman Kafai at Arman Kafai. You can follow myself at Jake Wetruba. For Steven and Arman, we'll talk to you guys next time.